New Englanders are used to having to spend much time indoors in winter, but with coronavirus in full swing, everyone wants to enjoy the great outdoors. In spite of the stay-at-home order, someone organized a ride through town with antique automobiles, just to break up the monotony. It's fun and it's safe. My friend Paul Valcourt took this video down at the Neck. How are businesses doing in town? This was a beautiful Sunday late in May. Everyone wanted to enjoy the sunshine and also stock up on plants and flowers. It was bizarre to see well-behaved and properly masked shoppers keeping social distance at Gordon Greenhouse. I wanted to shoot these scenes so future Ipswich residents could see what we all went through during this pandemic.
Give you a new job, ready?
Next, I dropped into Ipswich Beverages to find out how they're doing.
Hello, my name's Cynthia Noftal. I'm the owner and manager of Ipswich Beverage. We're located in the plaza on 146 High Street next to the Shaws.
Now, what steps have you taken to make this facility safe for customers and staff?
Well, our primary responsibility was to protect the staff. So we installed shield between the customer and the point of service and the sales, because that was the most important thing, that we wanted to make sure the staff's the ones who are coming in the most contact with people. It also protects the customer as well. We provide hand sanitizer for sale and at the disposal of the customer at any time if they'd like to use it. We diligently wipe down door handles more often than you normally would. We spend a lot of time making sure that people are aware of the distance, and that's kind of our primary concern, is just keeping the distance and keeping things wiped down, and the shield is the best protector that we have at this point.
Have you found that Ipswich customers are adhering to the rules of safe distance and masks?
Yeah, most people, you get about 95% of the people keep the distance and wear their mask. You get an occasional person who will have forgotten the mask, but they almost instantly turn around and go back out to the car and get a mask. You get very few people that don't come in with one, but if they happen to come in without one, they typically will keep their distance and stay away from people. I've had no issues where people haven't been courteous of each other during the situation.
How do you think the recycling of cans and bottles will be handled after we get back to normal?
That's going to be tricky. I get daily complaints about that. People don't like paying for the deposit while at the same time they can't return it. But at the same point in time, if they were to stop charging the deposit at this point in time, we'd have no way of knowing which ones they paid the deposit on and which ones they didn't. When it's time to go back, there are laws currently in place as far as a daily minimum. You can only bring back 120 cans or bottles a day, and you can only they're supposed to be clean, washed out, and in containers that you bought them in. Most people didn't adhere to those rules before this started. You'll see those rules become real strict if they do continue the bottle bill. There's going to be a lot of people that aren't going to want to do it. They force us, if we sell something, that we are required to take them back. You're going to get a lot of pushback because it's a nasty business. It's a really, really nasty business. And people are really anxious to get the money back and to return the bottles and cans. So it's going to be a serious undertaking when it happens.
Was our governor correct in listing liquor stores as essential businesses?
Well, that's a tough one, because I think your hospitals at the time was the big concern, because they the effects of people not being able to drink cause more people to end up in the hospital. And there's a ton of tax dollars the state of Massachusetts gets off of the sale of alcohol. It's an excise tax built right into the price when you pay for it. So that was a hard thing. I'm sure that they had to take that into consideration. I mean, personally, I'm glad they didn't, because my biggest concern being in a storefront with complete glass and no way for me to protect my investment here or my product here, I was concerned about how I was gonna have to handle that. So selfishly, I was glad that he kept it essential, because I had no idea how I was gonna do that. But I think people need something right now with all the stress that's going on, and I hear it every day. They're grateful I'm here, they're grateful I'm open, they really appreciate it. There's a sense of relief in a lot of people's voices when they thank you for being here and doing the job. So I guess the governor, you can be thanked in some ways for having made that decision.
I think I know the answer to this, but has your business improved or faltered in this pandemic?
It's improved. Initially, when it first happened, people were afraid we weren't going to be essential, so they were immediately stocking up in the fear that we were going to be closed down. And since then, it's continued to stay on an upslope, mostly because obviously you can't go to restaurants and you can't partake in a lot of things where people would have had alcohol. So it's definitely gone up, and people are spending a lot more time at home, so this is their choice of activity at this point in time, because they can't go out.
And do you have any further questions or any comments to make?
I just wish it would end real soon.
Don't we all?
I know everybody does.
Right.
Personally, I had a senior in high school that didn't get to enjoy a lot of her festivities, and makes everybody sad. And those are the ones I worry about. I don't want anybody sick. I don't want anybody dying. But the younger generation, they have a lot to live for, and they're being put on hold. And it's kind of sad. So I just hope it ends. I hope they find a cure, and I hope we can all. I don't know if we'll ever have the same normal. That's my biggest fear.
That's what they say. You'll never have the same normal.
We'll never have the same normal, and that I hate that thought for my kids. I mean, it's not going to affect me as much, but it really stinks for the next generations.
Well, thank you, Cindy, so much. In an earlier interview I did, Dr. Soderlin stated that we may be fortunate in Ipswich because there's plenty of room between houses, and we're not packed in like people living in cities. My across-the-road neighbor, Royce Knowlton, was perfectly safe from the virus by cutting his first hay of the season and then baling it. On the other side of the road, at my house, which sits on 2.10 acres of forest, I kept busy cleaning up my mini forest. It's great exercise, so I never have to go to a gym or use home exercise equipment. Oh, by the way, I don't really work as fast as it looks.